Thanks for coming in live right now.
I'm great, Craig. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing really well. Thank you. Everybody enjoying their tea and coffee and what we have going here.
Properly
Oh, you don't have
caffeinated.
anything.
Yeah.
But Holly, you're here though. You didn't. We thought maybe you would have to walk in as the show is going again, and did not have to.
On time, but this is new. I haven't been on with you guys before.
Oh, we got a whole new
I don't
cast
think
here.
I've been on with either of you.
Is there secretly
very
do you guys
exciting.
all fight when we're not on the
Yes.
air? So this is going to be a really awkward show. Is that what you're implying?
Hope
Or
not.
Entertaining
Possibly.
show.
it will be entertaining. All right, we are coming in live. Hello, everyone. This is Trends with Benefits. This is our weekly roundtable podcast where we gather a roundtable of experts to talk about the tech topics of the day. We're broadcasting live on Facebook and YouTube right now. So if you're coming in on Facebook, you probably just saw our broadcast live from the Furion demo out in Indiana. So thanks for joining us on this. We go live every Thursday at 2:30 p.m. with this show, talking about all kinds of different things. We got a bunch of stuff we're going to get to today, including would you or would you not skydive off of a drone, which is something that actually happened. Somebody has done that now. We've got topics ranging from Hololens to a business that is now offering a perk of being cryogenically frozen. It's not digital trends, but maybe that's on the horizon. We'll talk about that in a minute. And Google I/O. I'm your host, Greg Nibbler. Let's introduce our cast, though, right now. To my right.
Hey, I'm Nick Moke.
Hello, Nick. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
So, and next to you.
Brandon Witter. I'm the strategy editor at DT.
So both of you actually just went on your around the world trips because you guys were both over in Asia, right?
Yeah,
Different
Southeast
places.
Asia.
Southeast Asia. Brandon, though, really quick before we get to Holly on the
God.
end, we have to bring this up.
Oh, yeah.
Brandon, I kid you not, was bitten by a monkey.
Yeah.
What exactly happened?
I was robbed and bitten by a group of monkeys. It was
They
a
robbed you too.
it was a park in Bali, and yeah, they robbed me. They stole my girlfriend's bag.
Did you get it
So
back?
you're walking around in
Not
Bali,
everything in it.
and this group of monkeys just descends on you and takes
Yeah,
it.
I mean, it was an
from your
area
arm?
where they congregate, where tourists go. So, I mean, I kind of put myself in that position, but I didn't anticipate that. And it was a span of maybe.
You were a victim. You should not feel
Yeah.
blame.
You're right.
We're not going to
You're
shame
right.
you here.
Don't blame
Right.
yourself.
It happened within 5 seconds. It was terrible. Don't ever get bit by monkeys. Immune globulin is not fun.
Yeah. So is that the shots that they had to give you?
Yeah.
Or so how?
In addition to rabies. 4 rabies shots.
I was asking you, are the rabies shots still the ones you have to get in your stomach?
No, it's doing
Okay.
the arm, but immune globulin, you have to spread it out around the wound. So they had to do about 20 shots and just do a little bit from each shot.
That's horrifying.
Yeah.
I feel like the context of that is important, too, that you had to get those shots after, a 16-hour drive or something?
Oh, yeah, 19-hour drive after a 22-hour plane ride.
And then you had to go get shots.
And then I had to go to the
for a
ER when I
monkey
got
bite.
here because you have to do it in sequence because that's how the rabies vaccine works.
Oh my God! Well, that sounds horrifying.
But I'm
so
here.
Welcome back.
Yeah,
We're
thank
glad to
you.
have
I will never go to Bali. All right, and on the end,
Nick had a great time too, I think.
No monkey bites.
no monkey bites. Yeah, survived the entire time. All right.
In Holly Smith.
Hello, Holly.
Not quite as exciting.
Yeah, no monkey bites for you.
You don't want them.
That's good. Yeah, no, I would not want that. That is absolutely terrifying. I can't imagine any. No.
Stick with the mundane.
Stick with that. Yeah. I'm going to go to Disneyland. That's what I'm going to do. All right, so let's talk about some of the things that are coming up this week. And we got that main question that we put up on Facebook and YouTube right now of would you skydive off of a drone? And we're going to get to that here in a minute. So go ahead and put your answer in there. But in the first part here, we want to talk about something that's going on right now, which it seems like every company's having their conferences over this month period. Like everybody's having their conferences right now, and that includes Google, who has their I/O conference that's happening, and a bunch of really interesting things have kind of come out about it. A lot of it about Google Home and how much they're incorporating it in with all of the products that they kind of already had, but now it seems like they're piecing it all together into one really cohesive unit. I guess ostensibly to try to take on Amazon Echo and all of Amazon's Alexa services. But Google Home now, I mean, it's kind of pushed it forward to where I think I want to get a Google Home because they've incorporated it with Chromecast. They've incorporated it with phones. You can actually make phone calls from Google Home. You can basically do anything that Google does through Google Home, which seems like a big step forward over where Amazon is at, where Amazon Alexa is at.
Which of those things is like the tipping point for you? Like you said, you think you want one now.
Yeah.
What was it that you saw that you were like, I got to get a Google Home
I
now?
think the tipping point, and because I do like the Amazon Echo and I enjoy it, I think the tipping point for me is you can make and it's simple things. It's that you can make phone calls to any kind of a phone through it. Like you can call through Alexa right now to somebody else with an Alexa-enabled device, but with Google Home, you can just say, call so-and-so, and it will call that person through your phone.
Is it just landlines?
No,
I don't remember.
I don't think it's just landlines. I think it's any phone number it can
any
call,
number.
which is pretty cool. I mean, and like I said, it's little things like that. And then in addition, just Amazon did have some stuff with the Fire TV that you could use with the Fire Stick, but this incorporating with Chromecast, adding on all of those different things, I think that's where it's pushing it over the edge for me. Have any of you tried any of the home assistants, like as Google Home or an
I
Echo
used the
device?
Amazon one, but not Google Home yet.
Yeah, I haven't used it yet either. Just kind of looking at what this is. What about you, Holly? Would you use this?
I decided I'm getting it for my dad for Father's Day.
Yeah.
I've got all my siblings on board. For me, it was the phone calls as well. He's losing his phone constantly. He has a Chromecast, so I just picture him and my mom like, where's my phone? Or like, how do I get here? So I think and he doesn't use Amazon that much to order stuff. So I think it'd be a good fit for him. And I think that the assistant on iPhone is cool. So I downloaded it. I haven't played with it yet, but that's awesome that it works with iPhone as well.
That is one thing. Yeah, that's pretty cool that they're incorporating it in for that. Well, that's one of the things that I was looking at today. I'm just curious if anybody out there if that is enough to push you over the edge. Maybe it's still not. Maybe people still don't want, still are getting used to the idea of a device listening to you possibly all the time. I mean, for me, that's technically not what it's doing, but I think you just kind of have to get used to that at this point. Like I've already conformed, so Big Brother's all right with me. So there's Google Home Corporation. Some of the other things that Google I/O they've announced was the Google Lens, which I don't know if a lot of people saw about this, but it's going to be a new thing that'll incorporate in the camera on your phone, where it instantly can overlay augmented reality pieces. It can also identify anything. So you can point your camera at it, like in the demo they use is pointing it at a flower, and it instantly identifies what that flower is. Which, for me personally, I have that problem because there's only one kind of flower that'll grow at my house, and I don't know what it is. Because I kill everything else. So I'm like, whatever the hell this is, it might be a weed, I don't know, but it looks nice. So I'm like, I do want to know what that is. That would actually be a very pertinent thing for me.
You can reverse image search that.
I could, but that takes work, and
Kind of what it's doing.
yeah, it is kind of what it's doing.
It
That's what
is.
it's doing.
But you can talk to it and ask, what is this?
Yeah, hey Google, why is this not dying in my front yard?
I do want to know how well that works, though. I mean, we're watching the demo now with the Meatball Shop or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Have you tried with Google Translate ever? Because it's kind
No.
of almost a feature of that where you can pull up Google Translate, hold it over, say menu text in another language, which I did use on my trip.
Yeah.
And I was very disappointed in it. It
Really? It
almost
didn't-
never gets anything correct. It just
that
has a lot
sucks.
of garbledy text jumping all over the page, and maybe on an entire menu it'll have 5 words, much less the actual name of a dish or
So
something.
it's not yeah.
I mean, it has a lot of possibilities, but
Uh-huh.
in the execution of it was very poor.
Okay.
Supposedly they refined it though with Lens.
Yeah.
It'll give you more context. So if you're looking at a menu and you see, it'll bring up what it is, and it'll also suggest what it might look like with a bunch of images. That was one thing they pointed out during the keynote too.
If it actually is refined, I mean, I think that's something I'd use all the time.
Did you only use it on menus? I feel like sometimes dish names, they don't necessarily translate that well, so it was only on menus that could have been part
I
of the
did try it on
problem.
other stuff as well. Sometimes it's not great. It's you kind of want something that's printed and close to you. So I did use it mostly on menus, but I mean, you could use it on a store sign or something as well. I mean, it wasn't a 100% failure.
Yeah.
It just didn't work enough that I continually brought it out. I tried it a couple times because it was novel. And then after that, it wasn't really a very useful tool for me. I ended up having to just type a lot of things in because it wasn't recognizing the text properly.
See, and that's frustrating because that's what you think that's going to be there for. Especially something like this, I think would be really cool. Also, just holding it up to landmarks or something like that, and instantly getting, feedback as far as what that is.
It said it can also enhance those photos. And they give an example of the Eiffel Tower, a shoddy photo of the Eiffel Tower, and it can literally enhance the image using images it already has in its database.
Reality's not good enough.
Well, it also showed with photos the image where they took a photo of a kid playing baseball, and
Really?
they managed to just take out the fence from the photo.
It just
Really?
automatically
It was
did
through
that.
a chain link
It
fence.
was a chain
yeah,
link
just
fence,
erased the whole
and they
fence.
erased the chain link fence.
All right, that's pretty
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty
I didn't
great.
see that part of the demo.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yes.
But I mean, again, it kind of it skews reality.
Well, but that's where we're getting, though. I mean, that's what it's going to be happening. And speaking of that, they also announced one other thing, and this is just kind of some of the highlights from Google I/O, and then we're going to get into our other topics. And we will get to this, would you jump off of a drone to skydive? There's a video and everything. I'm seeing a lot of no's that people are saying.
Surprise.
Then somebody also said they would do it if they had a squirrel suit or that's a waste of a drone and a jump. So there's a lot of polarizing comments here about
Waste
that.
of a jump.
Waste of a drone and a jump.
I like to save my jumps.
I guess you can only do so many. You suppose what's the percentage that you're going to I don't know. Well, so we'll get to that here in a second. But one other thing with the Google I/O conference was Daydream. And that's their VR system, and they're talking about bringing that. As it is a standalone system. The enhancements that they're making for it. It's also going to be hooking up with Chromecast. So I guess the way it's going to work now, and again, there's a lot of information that's coming out about this, is that you'll be able to cast it to like Facebook or a Chromecast enabled device, whatever you're doing in VR, which is kind of nice. And with the new Android system, it's designed more for a touch-free interface, which is going to help out a lot, because that's one of the problems with virtual reality now is if you don't have the controllers, or if you're using a lower system like a Samsung Gear VR, which is nice, you still have to touch the side, and it's a little clunky still. I mean, they're still working all that out. So Daydream, that's kind of a cool advantage there. Have any of you tried Google's Daydream yet at all?
I did.
Yeah. What did you think of it?
I was playing some like sword dragon killing game, and it was a lot of fun. I actually have a Snapchat of me trying to like take down a dinosaur, but it was really fun. But I kept seeing out through the bottom of the goggles, so I wasn't really impressed with the fit.
It's kind of breaking your immersion.
But the screen was cool, and the graphics were awesome, and the game was really fun. But I was seeing the ground at the same time. So
okay, so not so much then.
Yeah.
Right now. But maybe with this improved system, that'll work. So anyway, that's Google I/O. Let's get into some of the other topics that we've got here, because we've got several things to get to. I want to talk about Microsoft. And Microsoft had their Build conference last week, and we've got a lot of stuff about that at digitaltrends.com, and we did our Close to the Metal computing show, kind of highlighting some of the things. One thing we didn't talk about on that show, though, was Hololens, a little more about Hololens and where they're going to be bringing that. I mean, that's the augmented reality system that they've been kind of hyping for a long time. We've heard about this, and I've been very excited to see what they're going to do with it. And now, something that's an interesting use of it. I can see some advantages to this, but also some also scary things that could go along with this. Is Air New Zealand is now put out a video talking about a trial they're going to be doing with the Microsoft HoloLens in flight. So their flight attendants are going to be using these, and the video they show, it's talking about how they're going to enhance the experience for customers. But they walk up to somebody, and this flight attendant looks at this guy who's clearly kind of nervous, and it overlays on his screen everything about this person, like where they're going, what their flight is, and then it just says emotional state, anxious.
Well, no one wants to fly these days.
Yeah, that's true. That's everybody on a flight. But I'm like, that's a lot of information, because it's analyzing like facial recognition and seeing how they are. And I'm kind of taking a look here right now. It's just how much it can analyze just that quick about a person and get your emotional state. It sounds like something out of Black Mirror. I mean, I know I say that about a lot of things, but it really does. Like, agitated, sir, you are agitated.
Yeah.
Calm down.
So the thing I don't get about this is like, there are so many things that we need to improve with air travel, and HoloLens does none of them. Absolutely nothing that you would actually hope for.
They won't have to write down their drink orders. That was one of the things.
No, they just know to bring me a Diet Coke.
Yeah, great.
Right,
Now,
yeah.
but I might still get beaten and dragged off the flight.
Yeah.
But I will get the correct beverage.
Yeah. But I mean, I can see some advantages of this. Obviously, there could be some nice things. Yeah. So the detail they're showing is like customer details. Carl Griffin, gluten intolerant.
But
Blah
look
blah
at
blah.
his face.
Those shades.
Like-
Emotion, anxious. Crew suggestions: collect transit card, go to transit location. I guess that must be telling him what to do afterward. I mean, again, there are some positive things to that, but it's just so easy to go to the weird things that they would be doing with this, and what kinds of how this would incorporate with everything. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I was kind of like freaked out the first time I saw it.
That's
like,
kinda what I thought, too.
It's supposed to make it more personable and like, oh, I know your name, I know all the stuff, but you wake up and this like black goggle, like not even a person is in your face. Like
You are anxious?
Yeah, it's turning the flight attendants into robots, so I'm not down.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen a lot of interesting applications with HoloLens in the past. We've seen the Mars stuff, and we've seen the stuff within the medical field, but this is not a direction I
Yeah.
ever saw it going, and I don't think it's one that's really practical.
Yeah.
What kind of flight attendant needs a computer to tell them the emotional state of the person they're dealing with? Like, isn't that kind of part of your training is knowing the vibe and kind of picking up on that stuff with like human intuition?
Right. Yeah. I mean, you would think so. I mean, again, I guess like if there's dietary needs, but you think you'd already have something for that. I think it's more this example may not be the best example.
They could be playing Angry Birds behind that lens for all I know.
Well, I'd just be nervous. Like, what do you know about me? What do you know about me? What are you looking at?
Your Facebook profile, just peruse it while they're looking at you.
According to your Google search history, sir. I don't know. But what do you think some advantages would be? Like, what would be a good use of that kind of technology as far as like crowd interaction? I'm trying to think. So I'm sure there are some positive uses. Again, like I could think like, for doctors or something like that, like the health industry. That would be a great thing.
I think airport security.
Yeah.
I think it could go a long way there, being able to identify people that could be potential threats. But
again,
on flight, not so much.
My paranoia goes to its Judge Dredd that's looking at me.
Give these to the TSA.
Yeah. But I mean, it could be a big advantage. It could be. I think it's something more and more, whether it is a HoloLens or something like this. We're obviously going that direction, and I can definitely see that being incorporated in. I don't know. Yeah, I can easily scare myself with it, but I think there are some positive things that could go along with it. I want one. I mean, I want one. I don't want other people to have them, but I want one. So that's the Microsoft HoloLens. Again, you could read more about that at digitaltrends.com, talking about where they're going to be going with that. I am excited to see it. I would love to actually try one and get one on and just see what it could do for other things other than analyzing people. If you could just walk down the street and like have especially if like you're trying to repair something and it could help you with that. We've talked about that before.
They have dev kits out there, supposedly.
Yeah. Well, hey, Microsoft. So that's the Microsoft HoloLens. Let's move on to something altogether different. And again, we're just kind of bouncing through some different topics here. Let's see. Donald says all the crap you have to go through. It wasn't crap, but all the crap you have to go through just to get to board an airplane is not worth it anymore to fly if you're staying in the States. Oh, he's just talking about flying in general. Okay. If RoboCop was a flight attendant, he would definitely work for United. That's what Chris said. I have a friend that works for United. I will make no comment on that one. All right, so, and also I'm pretty sure the best use of this technology was by Predator. So there's some of the things we could do with this. All right, let's talk about this company Perk. Now this is not something we would normally talk about on the show. Digital Trends is a forward-thinking company, obviously, working for tech. I don't know if this is on the horizon for DT or a company near you, but there is a company in Silicon Valley now in an attempt to attract new employees. It's called the company is called Numerai. And in addition, it says to some yoga classes and free meals. One of the things they are now going to advertise as part of your life insurance is free cryogenic freezing for if when you pass away, the life insurance immediately takes over. The company will freeze you. And it doesn't say specifically how long. They're not sure how long they'll freeze you for. That's kind of one of the things that's a
minor caveat.
Minor caveat. But they're ideally until they can... Let's see. They were talking about getting more molecular technology as far as knowing how to bring somebody back to life. Future technology, molecular nanotechnology, future repair, like all of these different buzzwords they've got in there. Basically, they want to freeze you and save you probably to work later.
But the tech isn't even there to bring you back.
No,
currently.
It's not back.
So
no, the tech is not there.
You're gambling.
But that's one of the advantages.
Too,
that this is enough, though, that where this is possibly encouraging people to go there. I mean, Just for a general weird question, would you want to be cryogenically frozen? Would you do it if it were free? Imagine if there were no cost.
No, I think it's pretty selfish to want to be. It's like you're saying, I'm so good. The world. What can they do? What would the world do without me? I need to freeze myself.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about like overpopulation. You're gonna freeze yourself. Then you just never disappear from the earth. We gotta maintain your frozen corpse.
Yeah. Not only that, you're using up power and energy, and you're already dead. Yeah, that's true. If you look at it that way.
Let me rot. Pine box.
I'm gonna concur with him.
Yeah? No, just no desire to do it. Holly, what about you?
No, I mean, who knows what world you're getting into? How are you gonna sustain yourself? Are they offering a job or money, or who's gonna take care of you?
There's no jobs or money in the future.
Let's talk about.
Well, if you come back and I don't know, just no.
No. Okay. I don't know. I mean, No, I think because you gave the good reasons of not to, just because, yeah, you're eating up resources. But if one were to be really selfish, I mean, maybe, if it's like way in the future, and I get my own like spaceship or something like that.
I mean, if it's carbonite.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, right. There we go. But yeah, I don't know. I would probably pass on it too. Mainly because I don't know if I would trust the company. Like, what if it's further down the line and, somebody takes over and they decide to turn you into a zombie worker for them?
What does the
That's what I
company
would worry
do?
about.
What's it?
And it's a good question.
Is it even related to?
I think it was AI.
It's a new kind of hedge fund built by a network of data scientists. That is what they do.
Great.
So that is
Really?
according to their website. Yeah, Numeri. Yeah, Numer AI or Numer.ai. So obviously very straightforward about what they're doing. Nothing shady about that. But they will freeze you and bring you
Do you
back
have to
later.
sign a contract? Like, I'll work for another 15 years if you bring me back or something?
Right? Yeah, it's probably hidden in there somewhere. Yeah, people are saying, Courtney says, no, cremate me. I think most people are probably not going to want to do it. Which makes me want to do it, but no. I'm not going to go against the grain on that one. I'm going to agree. I don't think I want it. All right, let's talk about this skydiving from a drone, which we brought up earlier. And we've got a couple of things with drones and just how more advanced they're getting. I mean, we've already seen some of the ones where people are able to fly around on them. People have been coming up with different ways that you can like stand on it. There's that one, the guy from Google who has a drone that will fly over water that you can kind of stand on. It's kind of like your own personal little hovercraft. And we talked about that a couple of weeks ago. Now, there's a company in Latvia that is a Latvian-based drone designer, Aerones, who got this guy to take a giant drone, a propeller drone that they've come up with, and take it up in the air. He did start off on a tower, and then the drone took him up from there. Let's see, standing atop, the tower was 120 meters. It says he went up to an altitude of 330 meters and then let go of this drone. He's holding on to a rope that's attached to the bottom of it and then just let go and threw out a parachute and parachuted to the ground. I've skydived before, and that was fine. It was freaky. I did freak out when I jumped out of the plane. You're supposed to go into like the Superman pose, and that when you first jump out of the plane, I was strapped to somebody on the back who was supposed to be there, and that was the thing they said, like, make sure you go into the Superman pose. I freaked out and started punching the air, and
Can we post some of that footage?
no, there needs to be. Yeah, I was like, oh no, I got this, no problem. I wasn't nervous at all until they make you look over the side, and then you back up, and then you jump out, and it was the first look over the side. Like every instinct in my body said, nope, no, don't do that, and I freaked out. And he had to hit me on the arm until I got into the Superman pose. So anyway, that's what happened to me. It's still fun.
Sounds like United again.
Yeah. I would still do it again, but jumping off of a drone, no. I don't think I could ever get to the point where I would trust that. And again, that's our question that's out there. Would you skydive off of a drone? I mean, I know there's a lot of people that are daredevils out there that would probably jump up at a chance to do this. It's not me. Nick, what about you? Would you do this?
I would not skydive off a drone, but I'd really like to ride on a drone.
Yeah. So you take it up, but you just want to stay strapped into it.
Yeah. Like the part where he's hanging, like that looks pretty fun.
Yeah.
If I'm strapped in, like you got a harness or something,
See,
that
that's
looks
the
really
part
fun.
That's scariest
But would
to
you me.
skydive?
Would you skydive just in general?
I
difference
have
once you're just
not,
falling,
But
you're
I
falling.
I
would,
agree.
given the opportunity. I don't know. From a drone, the lower height actually makes it look scarier.
Yeah.
He didn't free fall for all that long.
No. I mean, that's like one of those cliff jumper guys, that can jump, that do that, just run off a cliff and throw a parachute up. That's hell no for
Base
me.
to base jumping.
Yeah, base jumping. Thank you. Yeah, no, I would not do that. Rich asks, what if the batteries run out? Again, I think that's it. It's a drone. Like somebody, I guess if you have a parachute.
Yeah.
That's true. You have a parachute. Well, Holly, would you do it?
I mean, it wouldn't be my first skydiving trip, but if you're already a skydiver, why not?
Yeah.
Then
Have you
again,
ever skydived?
I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of drones have they can return to base when their batteries are low.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So just hold on. Just be like, nope, not letting go. Have it take you on back.
Like when you go on a rope swing and you're like, nope.
Never mind.
I agree with Holly though. I mean, once you're falling, does it really matter if it's from a drone or from a plane?
No, I think it's just that buildup. Like it was for me. Like I was fine. Like taking the plane up is totally fine. Looking over the side, no. That made me not want to do it. And I think just holding on to a drone as I'm going, no. I just don't think I could ever get up in the air. I just
clip
wouldn't do it.
yourself in, I think.
You could. I mean, if somebody forced me and strapped me in there, I mean, I guess I'd have no choice in the matter. But I don't think I would want to do it. And yeah, taking a look here at what people are saying. Let's see. Don't worry if you run out of battery power, you can come back down. Yeah, you will come back down if you run out of battery power. That's true. You have no choice. Let's see. Tony says, I've skydived, and that's too easy from a drone at 1,000 feet. So apparently that's not challenging enough for Tony. All right. Dr. Badass. That's way more than me. But yeah, that's what I was kind of curious about, just to see what people would do with it. I mean, and one thing, talking about the drones, I think the last thing we want to get into here too is just kind of drone protection. We've covered a lot of different things about the way like authorities are trying to fight drones going into like public areas, places they're not supposed to. We've talked about how in Europe they're incorporating falcons, literally like actual falcons that will attack drones out of the sky. Japan had some kind of a net system that they were going to shoot up at their drones, which just seems ridiculous. But if it works, it works. And now there is apparently such an epidemic at prisons in the United Kingdom of people droning in narcotics or whatever, stuff they're not supposed to have, that there's a UK prison that just started this anti-drone force field. This is a real thing. It's a force field that they have installed. It's called a Sky Fence. And it's the work of UK firms Drone Defense and Eclipse Digital Solutions, which doesn't sound scary at all. And they have put this up over the Les Nicoles prison. And I guess it'll stop a drone up to 2,000 feet above it. So it's like up to a 2,000-foot electronic wall that will kill a drone if it starts flying into there.
How is it doing this? Is it like frequency jamming or something?
Yeah, it's along those lines. They don't say exactly. They say it'll scramble to find the biggest technology. I'll get the exact details, but they're not telling specifically.
Hacks the mainframe.
Yeah, hacks the mainframe. So it jams the signal between the drone and the pilot. So that's how it works, to where it'll basically shut the drone off by doing that, by jamming that signal. And supposedly they can track back to where the signal was, to where the user was, and find them based on this. So it'll track that signal. It's an interesting way to go about it. I don't know. I don't know if that's actually going to work, but what do you think?
I think it's great.
Think it's a great idea?
If it works.
If it
But
works.
I feel like if they're implementing it, actually works. But I mean, I could see those being used in airports, national parks, places where they just have a no-fly zone.
Well, it's up to $130,000 to $325,000.
I was going to say it's expensive, though.
Yeah.
Who's paying for it?
Right? So that's one of the ways that they're trying to do this. Let's see. Yeah, Christian says one prison had a gun dropped in from a drone a few years back. That's true.
I remember that.
Yeah. I mean, that's an interesting way to go about it.
I have to go back to catapults.
Catapults. Yeah, no, we were talking about that earlier today. Like, hey, we can just put something in like a birthday cake, or isn't that how you're supposed to get it in? Yeah. In the laundry bin. I mean, I've seen Shawshank Redemption. Isn't that how that works? But yeah, so
I think they do all sorts of.
Yeah, there's other ways.
There's other ways.
There's old-fashioned ways we won't go into that you can do that. But anyway, that is one way that they are coming up with trying to fight drones getting in there. All right, I think we've got something else coming up here. If you're watching live at 3 p.m., I believe here at Digital Trends, it's going to be broadcasting on Facebook. So we're going to kind of wrap it up. But again, this is Trends with Benefits. This is our weekly roundtable podcast where we gather our experts here. We are broadcasting live on YouTube and Facebook right now, but we're also available as an audio podcast. So subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, wherever you get yours. And any final words from anybody? No? Nothing.
I'll still take carbonite.
Carbonite?
Yeah.
So carbonite. All right. Fine. I'll cryogenically freeze myself. So I'll do it. I'll sign up. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. We'll be back next week with another episode.